This is the Run Recap.
That wind was blowing hard when we came in yesterday. And so, Ty and Randy tried to get out here, and it was just like, sounds like probably about like 1.5 foot, maybe 2 foot waves.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just while they were driving, they were getting drenched because everything was just coming right over the top of the boat and everything. And yeah. So then we all met at Hills, and it seemed like, oh, maybe it's going to clear up. And then we're at Hills, and then the rain just starts just dumping while we're there eating. And then,
oh my God.
So we went down the way and found us a campsite over there. And the rain basically stopped while we set up and hung out there. But yeah, it was. Yeah, so the camping last night, it was cold, but it was also totally fine.
Yeah.
So, but then we had then take down camp again and get out here, and it's cold this morning. It's gonna get a little better here in a little bit. It's supposed to be sunny and nice tomorrow. So.
Yeah, it's supposed to sound like it's supposed to clear up as you go, as you went.
Yeah, so it's gonna be just fine.
Oh man!
But I'll tell you, I'm over camping for a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, you've had there's like back to back of crap camping weather, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm kind of done. I didn't know it's still summer. So.
Oh man, the weekend you came over for this thing we're going to talk about was the beginning of like fall over here. It was like, oh, so it's middle August and we're just done with summer now, and it's going to be rainy and cold and windy and terrible.
Yeah, just kind of miserable.
Okay, so you did a Ragnarok Fraggle run-in type of thing or something?
Yeah, did the Ragnar Mount Rainier relay.
Ragnar, that's what it is.
Yeah, and it's like and they do like tons and tons of relay. Like they're the big relay company. So they do them all over all over the place, and they do a really good job, of course, of putting together a good event and stuff because it's just what they do. But anyway, I'd never done a relay before. Christy's done one before, and so we all right. Okay, so so we did the Ragnar Mount Rainier relay.
Yeah,
and this consists of, I don't know how many miles. I think it's like 132 total miles or something along those lines. And then you have 8 people on your team, and it runs on Crystal Mountain. So we set up in the parking lot of Crystal Mountain is where the camping was, and so that's where you set up your whole camp and everything. So the whole parking lot is just full of tents.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we get there and it's like 45 degrees and rainy, like just nasty. Yeah. And get there on Thursday, and then and we had a couple of injuries and stuff, so we had to pick up a couple extra legs. So instead of just doing 3 legs, so normally what you would do is you'd run a 3 mile, and then a 3 mile, a 5 mile, and a 7 mile, roughly. And they're all like not exactly those distances, but roughly that. And so anyway, getting into it, was thinking like, oh, a 3, 5, and a 7 over the course of 24 hours, I can pick up another 7. That's not a problem, right? Yeah, it's a lot of them. It's 22 total miles, but not a big deal. It can do that. And not really thinking through the weather and the vertical feet that are involved. So
wait, pause real quick. So you're saying you would do a 3, a 5, and a 7, and then you do another.
And I picked up another 7. So the order that mine were actually going to go in, I was going to run the first 3 mile leg for the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
And then another person is going to run the 5 mile. The 5 mile runs up to the top of Crystal Mountain.
Okay.
And then I was going to run the next 7 mile leg. That was the extra one I was picking up, running 7 miles back down the mountain.
Gotcha.
And then I was going to run another 7 a little while later, and then I was going to finish with a 5. It was going to be what my legs were. So, and then and then 3 other people also basically did the same thing. Also picked up, an extra leg of various kinds. Another guy did another 7. Another guy did another 5. So anyway. So that's the way the setup was for it. And
do you know the routes that you're running at all?
We'd seen the map, and it gave us the elevations and everything. So you had an idea. So what we knew ahead of time was the 3 mile loop was just going to do basically you go from base camp and you do a 3 mile loop right back to base camp. Okay. And And in comparison, I mean, this is the easiest one for all of them, but it was still over 600 vertical feet.
Yeah.
And those 600 vertical feet were all in the first mile.
Oh,
So it's still an actual pretty hard 3 miles.
yeah,
And then,
absolutely.
and then the 5 mile runs to the top of Crystal Mountain. So it's 2,600 vertical feet in 5 miles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So just straight up. And then the 7 mile still had like 500 vertical feet in it. So you're running a ton down. Obviously, you're running like 3,000 feet down and
Yeah.
then back up another 500 or whatever it was. So the total vertical feet that I added up, I did over 4,000 vertical feet total in 22
Yeah.
miles. And, anyway, so we get there and we set up camp, and the wind is just ripping. The rain starts just dumping on us. Like right
Yeah.
as we're about ready to go to bed, rain is just dumping like crazy. Wind picks up, like parts of your tent are blowing off. And there was thunder and lightning like striking right outside. I mean, the thunder was shaking the ground. It was intense.
Oh my God.
And it was cold. By this time we'd gotten pretty cold. I think it hit like 37 degrees that night. So
Yeah.
it was chilly and everything. But we hadn't really gotten wet yet, so that was good. So did that. But I got the first leg, and I start at 7 a.m. the next morning. I really fall asleep around 2 a.m. So got like almost no sleep. I was gonna get up like at 5:30 and have coffee and eat and stuff, and then get ready to go.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. I need all the sleep I can get. So I got up a half an hour, like at 6:30 is when I got up. I got up, threw my shorts on, started walking over, getting ready to run.
Oh my God.
And so, yeah, I took off shorts and a tank top. It's rainy and stuff. But I wanted to save any clothes that I would need later, especially because one of my legs is going to be at 3 in the morning. So I was like, okay, I'll just get my shorts and tank top really wet. I'm only out there for like 24 minutes. So I'm just going to do that. I can just tough that out. No big deal. So I did, and it was fine. So did that.
Okay.
And I did ran that first 3. Yeah, plenty quick. It was no problem at all. And felt pretty good. Got back to camp, was going to get ready to get changed because now I got to head up to the top of the mountain and run down. And so went back to camp, and I was I was feeling fine, everything, getting ready to change. I was going to eat because I figured I probably got a while before I really have to run again.
Right.
And then about 30 minutes later, I get a message saying from Cheryl, who was heading up the mountain, saying, I'm getting close. You got to head up. So,
Oh no.
so I just threw on a long sleeve shirt and my light puffy and hopped on the gondola and headed up. So I'm like, oh shoot, I got to run now.
Yeah.
So I head up there to the top, and she had miscalculated how close she was. And so I just waited at the top of the mountain for like an hour or more. Might have been an hour and a half. Like it was a long time waiting at the top of the mountain and just freezing. Like I'm just shivering like crazy.
Okay, hold on a
And
second.
so, yep.
So you go to the top. How do you get to the top to start that
You
leg?
take the gondola up.
Oh, okay. That's nice. So you're having to. That's kind of annoying though. You're having to communicate with your team of where they're going to end up while they're running.
So they had speed traps set up at different locations, so you knew when they were getting close.
Okay.
So when they had a mile and a half left on that 5 mile loop going up, they went through a speed trap, and they would pop up on a screen.
Okay.
Down in the base camp. So then that's when you know to go up. Well, this is our first one. We hadn't really dialed in that process. I just got a text saying time to go, so I went. But she wasn't anywhere near that speed trap yet at all. And even when you get that speed trap, because there's so much vertical, that last mile and a half takes a long time. You're not running at this point at all.
Right. Right.
So anyway, so I didn't eat. I hadn't drank anything. No coffee, water, nothing. Ran up. I sat up there shivering for an hour, wasting so much energy just shivering.
Yeah.
And then she gets up there finally, and I take off, and we still have a little bit of visibility at this point too.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful. This is the only time we actually got to see Mount Rainier. So it was really pretty for a second. And then so I took off, and you're going, and it actually was one of the coolest runs because from the top there, you're going along the ridge of this of the mountain. So it's like dropping off on both sides of you as you're going across the top. And there's like cliffs around you, and it's just beautiful as can be. It was super cool. So going through there, and I'm running like 7-minute pace, maybe a little faster. So just cruising, and it was just a good downhill, super fun. ends up dropping down into some pretty tight trails that were a little hard on the ankles and stuff, but but really tight single track. And I'm still just flying. I passed like 15 people in the first couple miles, like just cruising and feeling awesome and having so much fun. Like around mile 4, I'm like, this is the most fun I've ever had. Like this is just so much fun. And and the bushes are going by you so fast, and it's like like riding a speeder in Star Wars, with all the trees just flying by you.
Yeah.
So doing all that, and I'm feeling super good, and it ends up getting back into the forest and gets really dark and stuff, and then the greens, how the greens are over on your side. The greens are like neon green, like just so bright. And the fog starts to come in a little bit and everything, but it's still just good and everything. And so cruising down through there, and then got to the bottom about mile 6. All of a sudden you hit some uphill. And I realized how hard I've just worked my legs and how like under-fueled I am, and now I have no water in me, right? It's like this like little uphill, and it just defeats me.
Oh, no.
Full on, like, oh no, I used a lot of muscle this morning already. I'm dying. And anyway, so still just powered through, got through that, and then you have to like cross a creek, and then it's getting muddy, and there's like some really steep uphills all of a sudden. And I'm struggling, but I'm like, I've been making good time. Just get through this. After this, you have a long wait before your next one. It's fine. Just push. And then no big deal. Then treat the next race like a different race, which was completely stupid. That was a really bad strategy. And so I get through that, and I get all the way through there, and then you're coming back into camp and stuff, and I'm just pushing as hard as I can. I get through. I'm delirious by the end of this.
Yeah.
And like stumbling, like I pushed way too hard, and I'm roasting, just sweating, so much and everything. Like I sweat through my puffy, and got back. Christy helps me get back to camp, where I'm just like quickly like stripped down. I'm eating grapes because they just happen to be there, and just just try to get stuff down, and then like laid down because I'm just beat, and like. And Christy's like in the tent feeding me bread like slowly as I'm like trying to get food in me. But at that point now it's 11 o'clock in the afternoon, and I haven't eaten or drank anything, and I pushed super hard. So now it's really hard to eat,
Right.
So I'm struggling getting any food in there. So then laid there for a while, finally got clothes back on, and then and I just looked hilarious, like laying there being fed bread, And we'll probably get everything back on and stuff. We start heading and get up, say hi to people and everything. And anyway, so after that, then like, okay, I just need some serious food now. So we get up, and the restaurant at the top of the mountain had opened, and so we all decided to head up there and have a burger. And I get there, I still can only eat like half a burger, and so because I just had trouble getting food in. But we went up there, and with most of the crew, and Mike finished his 5 mile as he met up there too, and then went up there with the person who's going to run the next 7 mile down as well. But it felt way better after actually fueling, because that was.
How much time do you have from like you finished and when is going to be your next leg?
So then I had about 4 hours between that one and my next one. Okay. And so I got that. And my next one was another 7 mile.
Gotcha.
Back down. And so again, feeling pretty good. Like, okay, well, it's just downhill. I'm good at downhill. This will be just fine,
Yeah, right.
And so anyway, so we get eaten, and now I'm like pretty good spirits, walking around like having a good time and everything, and feeling pretty good, and thinking I really need to sleep, but I don't really actually have time to sleep. So I just hung out and got ready for my next one, and this time we figured out how when you go up to the top, overdress and then hand your clothes to the person that's coming up, and they'll take it back down for you.
Totally.
Right?
That makes sense.
So he hadn't thought through these logistics yet, because none of us had ever done this before. So, figuring that out helped out a whole bunch, and bringing clothes up for the person that just ran up, so that way they can put clothes on as they go down the gondola.
Yeah.
So,
because it's not
plan that out way better.
That gondola is not super long. It's not like a Silver Mountain gondola, but it's
still
it's
15 minutes.
Still time sitting though, like time sitting after a run or pre-run.
Yeah, and if you're drenched and it's really so if you're drenched and it's really cold out and stuff, it can really get you on your way down.
Right.
So anyway, so we said I said I dressed way better, got up there, like had my snowboard jacket on and everything, and just like handed that off. And so I did that. I wore tights instead of shorts, so that was better. and brought my GoPro along too, because I already told everyone, like, okay, I'm already pretty beat. I'm not gonna blast this thing, so I'm gonna enjoy this run down. I'm still gonna go quick because it's downhill. It's easier to run faster
Yeah.
and slower, so still gonna do that. But I'm bringing the GoPro along for this one because it's just gonna be fun to film. And it was such a cool trail that I really want to be able to show people.
Yeah.
So did that and got up there and anyway, so that handoff all worked way better. I was dressed way better. Got that, and then just was enjoying my rundown, and it was going really, really good. And I even stopped to film a couple things because it was like, oh, this view over here is cool. So I stopped to film over an edge and everything. And
Are these all different? Every time you do a leg, are you running a completely different trail than you did previously?
Each leg, each leg is a specific, so that then this next 7 miles is the exact same as the previous 7 mile.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because usually you'd only do one of each, and so just because we were short people, that's the only reason we were doing extra.
Okay, I see. So the increments of miles are the same course. Like the 3 miles are the same, 5 miles the same, 7 the same.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those are there's 3 different routes. That's it. Yep.
I see.
So yes, I'm running the same thing that I just got done doing a few hours before, and went down. So I was also prepared for then the uphill that was coming up. So so I came into that okay, and I just planned on when I hit that uphill, I'm gonna walk because I got my 5 miler coming up, and I've been hearing from everyone this 5 miler is a killer. Like, there are a lot of people that are doing 0 running on this thing because they just couldn't. Yeah, It's just that steep. There's that much vertical.
Yeah.
So I know that's coming up, so I'm trying to save myself. And just don't worry about it. Just go have fun. So that's what I was doing, enjoyed it, and I really had a great time. The rain, though, had come in hard at this point. And so now this thing is just mucky as can be. So I'm slipping down a lot of it. And I mean, I'm drenched, just covered in mud. And then got down to the bottom finally when you have to do the little bit of uphill. And the uphill then is like really soupy mud, just disgusting.
Yeah.
And we were, so got through that stuff, but it was just gross. And I'm soaking wet. And, but that was just kind of the way it was going to go. That was the plan.
One of the pictures or videos you posted during it looked like you're running, I don't know if it was down or up, I can't remember, but like it was basically a stream that was the trail at that point. So it's flowing so
the drainage had gone right onto the trail. So that's where all the water was running right down the middle of the trail.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing now also my knees and ankles are hurting because now I'm hitting around 14 miles of steep downhill, right?
Yeah,
this is, and I'm not very well trained for this much mileage at all. And, or that steep downhill or anything like that. So anyway, we got through to the bottom got through that one and I'm just done and just told, told everyone like, I got one more. If anyone wants it, they can have it. I'm good. I'm satisfied. I do not need to run anymore at this point. I'm at 17 miles total, and I'm good. I'm beat. Whatever. And it's now been like I've just been wet and cold for a long time now. Outside when I'm running, I feel okay. The rest of the time, I'm just wet and cold, or just going through clothes like crazy.
Yeah.
So finish that one, get down, and I just go straight to the tent, strip down, dry off, and I just get in my sleeping bag and pass out. And then I wake up to eat occasionally and then pass back out. And I just kind of kept doing that and just didn't care about anything anymore and then Christy came in. She had her next one was going to be soon after my next one.
Okay.
And so, anyway, but I pass out hard. I didn't set an alarm or anything. And I wake up to someone yelling for their teammate while going up the trail next to where our tent was. Like, hey, wake up. And this wasn't calling for me, but it just happened to wake me up at the right time. So I wake up at 2:30 in the morning and I look and I'm checking through all the texts from everybody, see where everyone's at and everything. Like, oh, okay, time to get ready. Mine's coming up, And
oh my gosh,
so it's 2:30 in the morning.
You're so lucky that you caught someone else's call.
Oh, someone had to come get me. That's what would have to happen because I was dead to the world completely. I was so just out. And so I get up at 2:30 in the morning and, get my stuff ready and everything. And I and I'm freezing. The weather we had checked before, the snow level had dropped to 7,400 feet, and and the top of the mountain is at 7,200 feet.
Right.
So like, this is going to be freezing. It's the middle of the night. I'm overdressing for this for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I told everyone, like, this is going to be slow. Like, I'm going to be really slow. I'll make it. I don't know if I'm going to run at all. I'm just going to walk up this.
I'll see you in an hour, right?
No, 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours to go 5 miles. And
Oh
a
my
lot of
gosh.
people were in that 2 hour range. People that were going, if you were hitting fresh, we had a lot of guys on our team do it in about like an hour 20. So that's doable. If you run the downs, walk the ups, but you power hike them, you can do it in that time.
I see.
I don't have anything left in me though, and I just knew it. So
Yeah.
I have like pants on that are water wicking. I've got my snowboard jacket on. I got my lights on, and like I'm going up this way. Like, I even put my snowboard gloves in my pocket because I'm like, I might need them. I don't know. All of that turned out to be a huge mistake. So the person gets down, and I take off on my 5 mile, and within a half a mile, I am drenched in sweat. So the rain finally stopped. It is still mucky as can be. The rain stopped and it warmed up.
But it's the middle of the night. It's 2:30 in the morning.
It's the middle of the night. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that it would warm up that much at 3 in the morning, where it's been cold and rainy the entire time?
I think the fact the rain stopped and the wind stopped, so then it just felt significantly warmer, and it kind of got humid,
Oh my God.
And so it's dark and it's super foggy, and I'm just trudging up this thing, and you can't see it. Nothing's enjoyable about this. And then I hit about 1 mile, and I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. This isn't safe for where my legs are at right now. I've got nothing here. But like, I don't think I can turn around, so I guess I'll just go to the top instead. But I'm really feeling like I shouldn't do this at all. So I'm just trudging through. There were some, and I kind of started to try and run some of the downs a little bit. Then I noticed there's some ladies in front of me that weren't doing that. They were using their poles, and like, okay, well, I'm just going to pace with them.
Right.
They lost me within a half mile. I never saw them again. Like,
oh my
destroyed the others. And so I'm just getting one foot in front of the other. Just keep moving. And the one cool part was, but it was miserable, just pure misery.
Yeah.
It wasn't like type 2 fun where it's like, oh, this is hard, but it's going to be awesome. No, just flat out miserable.
Yeah.
And we got to one part that's kind of cool where there were switchbacks up the mountain ahead of me. You just saw all the headlamps covering all the lights up above. It was pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
But that was the only cool part of that at all. As I just kept going, I'm just pushing. I'm pushing like my hands on my knees, pushing my legs down with every step, just trying to take another step, just keep going. And then thank God when people would come to pass me, so I could move over and have an excuse to stop for a little bit. got to the water station with 1.5 miles left, and I didn't carry a cup with me because it's 5 miles. I don't need to drink in 5 miles.
Right.
And I'm dying. I like went up to the nozzle there and was like, and this started like lapping out of my hand. Because I just needed all the water I could get in me. and I am sweating so bad because I'm way overdressed.
Right.
I just did everything on this thing wrong.
Well, you don't want to take your layers off because then you have to carry layers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it would have been worse. And I would have taken my chest light off to do it too. Like, it was just too much work to take it all off. So, I'm just going to keep it on, just keep going. So anyway, I just trudged up the rest of it, got to the top, and was just done. Handed my stuff off. And then, one of our teammates is up there and met me, and he kind of walked up with me to ride the gondola down, and I was just he offered to give me a piggyback ride, and I was like, I don't know that I can even get on there. Like, because I am stumbling up to the gondola. We get on the gondola and ride down. When we hit the bottom, I couldn't get off the chair to walk out of the gondola. Like, they wouldn't work.
Wow.
He helps me out of there, and I stumble out of there. And like get down, and I noticed because of all the downs that I'd run, I just killed my quads. So they were just shot. So trying to go downstairs was just like my muscles didn't want to hold anything.
Yeah.
So got down the stairs, got back to camp, and again just like stripped everything down, wiped down, laid down, and just passed out. And
this is your last one, right? This is the last leg.
Yeah,
for
and
you?
I'm done, but I'm also just done.
Good.
I want to go
Yeah.
home. This is all stupid. Why on earth did I do this? And you know how hard it is for me to get to that point. When things are
That's
miserable, you're just like, it's miserable, but I like misery. This is no,
yeah.
no, I hate this. I hate
This
everything
is
about this. Halfway up, I was thinking, why I didn't need to do this at all. This is
yeah.
dumb. Why did I sign up for this? Why do I even run? I can stay in shape without running. I don't need to be running to go and do this stuff.
You're and that was your mindset going into the last leg.
That was like halfway up the last
Yeah.
leg. Was like, I
Yeah.
don't why would I do any of this? This is so stupid. Do I really
Yeah.
need this? Do I have an ego issue here? Why on earth am I out here right now at 3 a.m, slowly walking up a mountain while old ladies
Well,
are passing me?
well, but you know why? Because it builds character.
Yeah, right. I wasn't feeling that.
All
And
it
then
doesn't matter if you're feeling it. That's the reason. All suffering
right,
is just
that's
to build character.
always the reason.
According to
So
Calvin's dad, that's the only reason we do it.
absolutely. So got to anyway. So then I woke up the next morning and like I can't. I just stayed there. Like Christy came to check on me. Like I can't
Yeah.
go anywhere or anything.
Yeah.
And so I was just hanging out. That's it. And then
How much of the race was left at that point?
so all my stuff was kind of front loaded. So we
Yeah.
still had like when I finished, I think we still had like 8 legs left. And
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, so I got done around 5 a.m. So yeah, so my thought process then at that point was just like, why do I do this? Why do I run at all? I don't need to run to stay in shape. I can do other things. This is dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I'm just done. I'm not doing this ever again. And on top of that, I'm not sure I even
Yeah.
like running now. Or I don't know if I
Yeah.
ever liked running. Like, right? I started running because I just want to hang out with my dad. And then I got really started running again more recently because, Christy thought I should run and I like to show off for Christy. So I was doing that. And then Mike Atkins starts doing these trail runs. I'm like, oh, maybe I should do longer trail runs too. I'm like, I don't think any of this is my idea at all. What am I doing? I don't think I like this. This is not me. I don't want to do this. What on earth? So I'm thinking about it.
Oh man,
And then
you're having a whole identity crisis right now.
oh, full on. Like who am I? And I don't think this is me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get through that and yeah, so the next morning I finally get up, but I'm stumbling. Christy had to help me walk anywhere. Like it was
Yeah.
just like all that. People are all getting excited about the next. Christy's talking about already looking up. She's like, "Oh, we could do one in Zion." I'm like, "I'm never running again. I don't know what you're talking about. You guys have fun. I don't even want to go. I don't want to camp there, but you guys do what you want to do. But I'm not doing this ever
Yeah.
again."
Yeah. Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
yeah, so we like got some breakfast and stuff, but it's just cold and rainy and miserable. And anyway, and we finally got through. The last person got through and finished up the whole thing, and we drove home. But every time getting out of the car on the way home too,
Yeah.
like Christy had to help me get out of the car. Like I looked like I had cerebral palsy.
Oh
Like
my god.
yeah, like my back is all crooked and bent and everything, and I'm like hanging on to people and yeah, Christy had like walked me through everything. The next morning also, like trying to get out of bed the next morning, also still
Yeah.
had to have help walking to get out of bed the next morning.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, and I'm finally now, 3-4 days later, now I'm like, no, I'm walking normal now. I still have a
Yeah.
lot of pain, but I am walking
Yeah.
normal now. I still haven't run at all. And
So
anyway,
what's your
I might.
what's your mindset now? So we'll wrap it up. Being this far out of it now, what's the mindset or looking back on? Is there fondness of the suffer?
No,
Not yet. No.
I don't want to do it. I don't like it. I'm not doing that ever again. And I don't want to do a relay of any kind. I don't want to do that. Like it hit zero of my reward systems for running. Like literally just zero. So, the things I love about running, none of them happened.
Oh my
Except for that
gosh.
little bit of fast on my second loop. Like that was,
Yeah.
it was pretty and I was fast for a little bit. Outside of that, no, it hit none of the things that make me love this.
Yeah.
And for other people, it totally hits. Obviously, tons of people like loved it. There was, hundreds and hundreds of people. There's a huge race.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, this, and then I like, oh, I could, people are like, well, you could train for this. I'm like, I don't even want to do that. The training
Wow.
I need to do for this sounds horrible. I don't want to do that. So, Christy, I'm just going to run 5Ks from now on if I run at all. That's it.
There we go. There we go. Join the Mike Club.
I'm about to be a sprinter.
Dude, so my last comment before we wrap it up is,
Yeah.
I don't know why traditional runners, quote unquote, or just older athletes, former athletes, adults, why they don't sprint, because it's amazing. It is. The word this now I will this is I'm kind of conceding a point here to you, but the workouts themselves are often, not always, often easier because you need
Yeah.
to work on reaction time and technique so much. And the first 30 yards of something, or the first, the acceleration of something, it's not just like the suffer of it. There's sprint workouts
Right.
that are the suffer. They are like, okay, repeats and doing this kind of thing. But like,
Sure.
at least half of my track days are like starts. I'm doing block starts. I'm doing 3-point starts. I'm doing like all of these things that are not, they have a heart rate up, but like they're not hard. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's like, I don't know why more people don't do it. It's still a good workout, and it's so
Right.
much easier than running 7 miles.
Yeah. And this was just so hard. No, but I am back to like, no, I can say I was hoping to actually record like 2 days ago, and this whole tone would have just been, I'm never doing this again. I'm not even gonna do this podcasting. This is our last episode. I'm out. Like totally out. I'm done. I'm never, And now I'm out here on the island right now. I'm like, I'm gonna go for a 3-mile run here in a little bit.
Yep. And that's where you are an actual runner. You are a runner. You're
Right.
not doing it for anyone else. It is for you, because once the terribleness is past, the memory is gone. You're like, I think I'm gonna go for a run. It's gonna be fun.
Yep. I'm still telling everyone though, like our group keeps popping about different ideas. I'm just responding with every single one. I just write in, I'm retired.
Good. Yeah, I think that's
I'm
smart.
retired, and I'm not responding with anything else. Like no more words than that. I'm retired. You guys find your own people.
That is the smart decision. Okay, well, I'll let you go. Have fun on the island, and I'm gonna go do some technique sprint stuff.
Sounds good. Let's try and talk about it next week.
All right, later.
All right. See ya.